President Uhuru Kenyatta and his allies have teamed up with the business tycoons to kick out the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto out of Mount Kenya, politically speaking. And to show their seriousness, this team earlier this week held a lengthy meeting with Raila Odinga at his Capitol Hill office in Nairobi. But we were told that meeting centered largely on the upcoming BBI meeting in Meru County. But we know this is politics. And we know a lot of things were discussed at that meeting, because that meeting brought together all the governors from the larger Mount Kenya region, and it also brought several business tycoons to that meeting. And from Capitol Hill, this team headed straight to Safari Park Hotel. And at Safari Park Hotel, these guys held another meeting with all anti-William Samoei Ruto forces from the larger Mount Kenya region. And these anti-William Samoei Ruto forces included businessmen, included the clergy, and it also included former members of parliament who believed they were kicked out by the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. And to understand the seriousness of this matter, the allies of the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto also convened another meeting at Pan-Afric to counter the meeting which was happening at Safari Park Hotel. And yesterday, this team also held two different meetings in Mount Kenya. They held meetings, two different meetings. Basically, they split Mount Kenya region into two. The first meeting was held in Nyeri, and that meeting brought together the central Kenya region. That is the Nyeri, Murang'a, Kirinyaga, which other one? Kiambu, Nyandarua, those central Kenya. And then the other one was Mount Kenya East, comprising of Meru County, Tharaka Nithi County, and Embu County. And if you followed those two events yesterday, you should have realized that in Nyeri, there were a lot of problems. The allies of the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto caused a lot of problems in that meeting. But on the other side, in Tharaka Nithi, the meeting was moving on smoothly. And the mere fact that these guys decided to split Mount Kenya region into two confirms that President Uhuru Kenyatta and his allies, together with the tycoons, have a strategy of locking out the Deputy President out of Mount Kenya region. So today I want us to look at these strategies which these guys are planning to use, whether they're going to succeed or whether they're not going to succeed. But before we do that, if you're bumping on this video for the first time, I want you to just take a second or two and hit the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this one, you get notified. Now back to the main issue. Over the weekend, not over the weekend really, but yesterday, the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto was in Nakuru County, and he was accompanied by several allies from Mount Kenya region. And I listened to the speeches by the allies, the speech by Kimani Ngonjiri, and the speech by Moses Kuria. I want you to listen to speech by Moses Kuria because it's relevant to what we are going to say here.
Hii weekend wanatukaribisha huko Meru. Na sisi kama wabunge ambao mlichagua, tumekuwa na mkutano tukatengeneza ile maneno tunataka sisi kwa BBI. Kuna kundi lingine la matapeli, wale mabrokers ambao kazi yake kila serikali wao ndio broker. Kila serikali ya Kenyatta wao ndio walikuwa brokers. Serikali ya Moi hao ndio brokers. Serikali ya Kibaki hao ndio brokers. Serikali ya Uhuru ile ya kwanza hao ndio brokers. Na mpaka saa hii wataka kuwa brokers. Sasa tukashindwa, na nyinyi mlituchagua tufanye kazi gani? So tukasema sisi tuko na memorandum yetu ambao tutapeleka huko. Na hiyo memorandum iko na mambo kadhaa ambao wale hawawezi kuleta. Kwa mfano, sisi tumesema 5% ya national revenue iwekwe kwa guaranteed minimum return.
Now that's Moses Kuria. From Moses Kuria's speech, it is clear they are also aware that this team is out to destroy the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. And that's why they are referring to them as brokers who started brokering during Kenyatta era. Because these are the tycoons in Mount Kenya region. These guys started their businesses. Some of them, they have old money from Kenyatta era from the Mzee Kenyatta era up to now. But will President Uhuru Kenyatta and these guys succeed in stopping the deputy president? I want us to go to look at that. But what really happened between these two gentlemen? What really happened between these two gentlemen? Because for a fact, there is no way the deputy president William Samoei Ruto can dream of becoming the president of the Republic of Kenya without the support from Central Kenya. I'm saying this because of two reasons. The first reason is that Central Kenya have been in power for 20 years now. And they were in power also during the Mzee Kenyatta's reign as the president of the Republic of Kenya. Which means these guys understand what the power is. And they also control the state machinery. And because they control the state machinery, William Ruto will need that state machinery for him to succeed in Kenyan politics. You can't succeed in Kenyan politics without state machinery. Because for those who are in this country, Raila Odinga won the presidency in this country in 2007, free, fair, and clear. But because he didn't control state machinery, he never managed to sit in on the presidency. Because of that, he needs the Central Kenya. The second reason is the votes. Even if you are to rig elections, the way Uhuru Kenyatta did in 2013, even if you are to rig elections, you must create a narrative that there's numbers. In 2013, Mutai Ngunyi came up with a theory. The tyranny of numbers. And they convinced Kenyans that as long as Kikuyus and Kalenjins are together, no any other tribe can defeat them. And William Ruto had also banked on that kind of narrative. Which means without the Kikuyu votes fully behind him, then he can't advance that narrative. Let us just look at the numbers. Let me just check at the numbers of registered voters in the last election from the Kikuyu community. In Kiambu alone, they had 1.1 million votes. In Nakuru, they had 948. I'm talking of Nakuru because there are a lot of Kikuyus there. In Meru, we had 712,000. In Muranga, 590,000. In Nyeri, 460,000. In Nyandarua, 336,000. In Laikipia, 239. Let's go to, I'm trying to look for Nairobi. Nairobi, where's Nairobi? Oh, sorry. Nairobi, 2.3. But those 2.3 were registered voters in Nairobi, which means there's a chance that the Kikuyus were 1 million because the difference is not that big. So the deputy president must get the support of the Kikuyu. And this is what these businessmen, business tycoon, Uhuru Kenyatta and the allies are trying to block. So what strategy are they going to use to block the DP from achieving this? What strategies? Before we go into those strategies, let me just go briefly into some of the mistakes which I think the deputy president committed in the course of the past few years. In the past 2 years, he made some mistakes. The first mistake the DP made was the choice of allies from Central Kenya. If you look at the people advancing the candidature of the deputy president from Central Kenya, are they credible? Let's start with Ndindi Nyoro. Is Ndindi Nyoro credible? Can he advance the interest of the Kikuyus? The next one is Moses Kuria. Can he advance? Who is the other one? Alice Wahome. Can she carry the aspiration and the interest of the people of Central Kenya? Can she do that? I doubt. And some of these people, they don't even have links beyond being members of parliament. And because they are members of parliament, some of them think they have reached. So because the deputy president made wrong choices as part of his allies, he's now suffering. The second mistake he did was open disrespect to the president. Personally, if you talk of the deputy president as the deputy president William Ruto, he's never shown any disrespect to the president. But just go and follow how his allies have been behaving in his presence. Just even yesterday in Nakuru, if you listen to the speech by Kimani Ngunjiri, if you listen to his speech, and it has been like that. If he had stayed and tamed his team, I think the system would not be worried about the future of President Uhuru Kenyatta. The other thing was the handshake. The DP did not really embrace this handshake earlier. And because you opposed it from the onset, I think the president was annoyed. And lastly, I think the DP also did not cater for the interest of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Politics is about interest. If the president was retiring, the DP ought to have considered where he's going to put him. But you see, instead of figuring it from that perspective, he thought that this handshake was meant to destroy him. But now, what strategies are these guys going to use? Will it work? Let us just go directly into these strategies, which I think these guys are using. The first strategy is that these guys are going to, let me just use the word zoning, or split. They're going to split the Mount Kenya region into two. They're going to have Eastern Mount Kenya East, and they're going to have Central Kenya. And the strategy was very clear yesterday during the meetings in Nyeri and the one in Tharaka Nithi. The meeting in Tharaka Nithi was attended by all the three governors. Apart from those governors, that meeting was attended by several members of parliament. And they were very clear that for them, they are going to stand fully with President Uhuru Kenyatta. Even Thogi Njuki, the Tharaka Nithi governor, who was a key ally of the deputy president, has officially now abandoned him. The speech from the MPs were very clear. So I think these guys have realized that there's still a problem in central Kenya. So they have to get the Eastern, Mount Kenya East, away from the DP. This is basically what they were doing in Masai, getting Masais away from the DP, which they've succeeded now. So that's the strategy which they're going to use. And I'm sure once they have dealt with the Mount Kenya East fully, these guys are now going to concentrate in central Kenya, which with the time I'm sure they might succeed. I'm not saying they are going to succeed. So that's the first strategy. The second strategy is to mobilize all the anti-William Ruto forces to help in this fight. Remember, William Ruto is now the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. So many leaders are accusing him of undermining them. So many leaders in the last election are accusing the DP of rigging them out. So if someone is your enemy and they have an enemy, what do? You join them. So basically, this is what's happening in central Kenya. And you see, in politics, basically always 80% of the members of parliament, senators, and governors don't make it. So that's the thinking which is guiding these people. That 80% of the people who are rigged in the last election might not make it again in 2022. So they're now banking and they've started early campaigns. So basically they're checkmating these people. Whether that's going to succeed or not, I still don't know. Number three, I think Uhuru Kenyatta and these tycoons have identified that the best strategy to deal with William Ruto is to use governors and senators. Probably because the governors have structures already, existing structures on the ground. And senators are a bit of respected amongst the ordinary voters in this country. Because one thing we must give the deputy president, he has managed to hold together the members of parliament who are supporting, especially those ones from central Kenya. And that's why anytime and anywhere the deputy president goes, especially in central Kenya, he must be accompanied by members of parliament. And that has been the case. So these guys are now saying, okay, the MPs are with him. But we can use the governors, we can use the senators. Whether that's going to work, still we are going to wait to see. And lastly, it's about propaganda. Politics is about propaganda. And I've started seeing certain things. The deputy president and his allies are complaining already about the Daily Nation and about the Standard. Because they believe these two media houses are being used to advance a narrative. I want to confess, at some point I thought the DP also bought the People Daily. But the People Daily is also reporting almost the same. Standard, you can understand, belongs to the Moi family. And Gideon and Moi, you know how they operate. So you can excuse Standard. But what about the Daily Nation? And the truth of the matter is that most of the things they report are just what's happening. But there's also the other element of propaganda. For those who watched news yesterday on NTV, there was this cartel country program which was running. I watched it, but most of the things they were bringing up were very interesting. Things to do with corruption, things to do with the PEV, post-election violence, and the pictures they were showing were basically what happened in Eldoret. They didn't show any picture from Naivasha. So those kind of propaganda. And even today, I just landed on another propaganda. I believe it's propaganda. Just it's long. I don't want to share it, but just a glimpse of that propaganda. And lastly, this team is going to mobilize resources. And the fact that they can mobilize resources within a very short time should worry the DP. Politics in this country has been commercialized. The DP has been able to sustain members of parliament because he has the money. The system has tried to block his source of money. Still, is still just spending money. No, these guys are saying, this guy might have money, but his money is new money. Sisi, we have the old money. Let's match new money versus old money. And because politics is influenced by money, it means these guys are going to flash money all over. That's why if you watched the DP in Nakuru yesterday, his allies were like, why were these guys giving people 2,000 to attend a meeting in Tarakan in Meru on Saturday? I watched that on, I saw that tweeted by Aaron Cheriot, and I was like, why would they complain while people are stealing money in this country every single day? If the BBI is going to allow Kenyans to access 2,000 weekly, I'm for it. Because even if this money was not given to them, that money was still going to be stolen. So these guys are going to make resources available. And once the resources are available, it means choppers will be on standby. Money for media will be on standby. Anything which will require money will be on standby. Whether they are going to succeed still, I don't want to speculate. But the deputy president must be our red man as at now. And probably that's why he has tried to change strategy of late. I don't know whether he has changed his strategy because of what happened to Kenny and to the Rashid Echesa saga. Because of late, the deputy president has not been going to events the way he used to do. Like in a week, the whole of last week, the DP just made public appearance, I think, once. And this week, we are already on Thursday. He only appeared yesterday in Nakuru. Then apart from Nakuru, the others, he has just been trying to accompany the president here and there. I don't know what you think. Do you think these tycoons, together with President Uhuru Kenyatta and the governors, are going to succeed in kicking out the deputy president, William Ruto, from Mount Kenya politics? I want to hear your opinion on that. I want to hear your opinion on that. And if you're bumping on this video for the first time again, I just want you to take a second or two and hit the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this one, you get notified. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support. The request, as usual, help me create interactions, give the video a thumbs up. But the best one is just drop your comment if you like this video. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. Bye-bye.